My name is Eunice Thary, and I am from North Bay. The most important issue facing Ontarians is poverty and the widening gap between the rich and the poor. Poverty causes students in school to underachieve and have more health problems. We need more respectable welfare payments, affordable housing, affordable daycare, and a higher minimum wage. My question is, what will your party do to alleviate poverty?
Poverty in Ontario is government policy. If poverty was not government policy in this province, we would not have poverty. It is acceptable to the Liberal government and to the Tory government to have poverty in Ontario. It is not acceptable to the Green Party. The best way to address poverty is to make sure that the people who do not have the cash flow are able to live in a place that they can call their own at some point. We need the government to get involved, and for the street people, there are 5,000 street people in Ontario, in Toronto alone, that have no place to live. For street people, we need what is known as supported housing. Cities like Dublin and New York are building supported housing for the street people so they have a place to live with someone to help them make sure they get through the day and get through the week, make sure the shopping gets done, the laundry, and make sure they're on their meds. With a little bit of help, most street people are able to live in a safe place that they can call their own. That's step number one. Then we have the working poor. First of all, we should raise the minimum wage to $10.25 to make the working poor above the poverty level. But even at that level, it's almost impossible for someone to purchase a house or an apartment where they can live on. The only way to finally get rid of poverty is to make sure everyone in Ontario has a way of owning the place that they live in. So the Green Party would have a fund that we would establish after a fund that we would establish to make sure we could invest in co-ops, in co-housing, in sweat equity, and in other housing methods so that everyone in Ontario would have a safe place to live that they would eventually own. Because if only when you decommodify housing, when you make it available to everyone, will we get out of this vicious cycle of poverty that is so unacceptable in Ontario. Poverty in Ontario is not morally or ethically acceptable, but neither is it fiscally acceptable. It costs our government 7 times more to raise someone in poverty than it costs to get them out of poverty in the first place. When someone is raised in poverty, there are extra costs at school, extra programs at school, extra health care costs, extra social service costs, court costs. It is infinitely better fiscally, financially, to get someone out of poverty and then they become productive members of society rather than liabilities. When I teach school and I see kids coming into my classroom that have ADD or fetal alcohol, or they're not proud of their clothes, or they have low self-esteem, that child needs extra help. And if they do not get it before they get into school, it's hard to make sure that that happens. We have to catch these problems early diagnostics at the ECE level, at the parenting level, to catch the problems early, get people out of poverty, make sure the programs are available to address any health conditions that may be early identified, and make our citizens productive members rather than liabilities. It is everyone's right and need to contribute to Ontario's society. My dream of Ontario is an inclusive, empathetic society where everyone is welcome and needed and engaged in life in this province.